Do you want to write a movie? Here's a free lesson from my screenwriting course. From the start of your story, you want to hook in the reader and introduce your protagonist or your antagonist. Before we start, let's go over some writing terminology. Protagonist. The protagonist is the hero of your story. It's your main character and the person who we're rooting for. The antagonist is the villain, the entity that's fighting against your hero and causing them a lot of problems. I want to cover a few more writing terms that I think will help break it down even more and make it easier for you to write. Beat. A beat is a moment or action by a character. For actors, when they read a script, beats help them determine how to act in a given moment. A group of beats is called a scene, and usually a scene takes place in one location. When your character moves to a different location, it becomes a different scene. Your very first scene should set the tone for the rest of the story and pique the interest of your audience. The first scene of Jaws is the first shark attack. Even though we don't see the shark, we are being introduced to the antagonist right away. In the first Harry Potter book, Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, Voldemort is defeated, and the baby who survives the attack is dropped off at the Dursleys' house by Dumbledore. The best superhero films have excellent opening scenes. In the first 4 minutes of Iron Man, Tony Stark is having fun in an army truck, drinking and taking photos with soldiers, when boom, the army truck in front of him gets blown up and they are under attack. Then Tony Stark gets kidnapped. That's the start of an excellent first scene and great story. Another great superhero scene is from the first X-Men, when we see Magneto as a little kid bending metal to try and get back to his parents when they are taken away from him in a concentration camp. The opening makes us feel for the antagonist of the movie, and this scene was so good, they did the scene again in X-Men First Class. In The Dark Knight, in the first scene, we are introduced to the Joker, and we are hooked by a 6-minute bank robbery scene. Whatever your genre, you want to set the tone. If you're writing a comedy, you want to make your audience laugh from the very start. One great comedy opening is from National Lampoon's Vacation from 1983, written by John Hughes. This is the first of several vacation movies. We are introduced to Clark Griswold and his son Rusty for the first time when Clark tries to trade in his car for a sports car. But by the end of the scene, the car dealership has crushed his old car, and Eugene Levy convinces Clark to buy a new model of the same car they just crushed. This first scene sets the tone for the rest of the film. Before moving on, jot down some ideas for an opening that introduces your hero or villain and sets the tone for your story. To learn more about writing movies, you can check out my screenwriting courses. You can find these at www.jordanimiola.com/students. Please subscribe for more tips, tricks, and advice on writing.